this video number 11, let us discuss another topic on demand. So what is demand? It is the quantity of a commodity that a consumer is willing and able to buy at each possible price during a given period of time. So when you see this definition for demand, we notice four important things. The first is quantity. The second is the willingness of the consumer. The third is his ability to buy. And the fourth one is the price during a given period of time. So when can you call something a demand? Is when the quantity, the willingness, ability, and price during a given period of time are considered. Now, for an individual consumer, it will be called the individual demand. And for all consumers in an economy, it would be called the market demand. Let's try to understand the relationship between price and demand and the time period of its consumption. Now, what is the relationship between price and demand? It's a general observation that when the price increases, the demand falls. And when the price falls, the demand increases. Let us say a commodity is available for 10 rupees. Because it's a higher price, people might buy less. Let us say they will buy only 2 kg of the commodity. Now, if the price falls, let us say to 5 rupees, the consumption would go up. That means the demand for the commodity would go up, let us say to 4 kgs or 5 kgs. Isn't it? When the price is more, we demand less. And when the price is less, we demand more. So we see an inverse relationship between price and demand. Now let's consider the time period. When it is summer, goods that are consumed during summer, their demand goes up, isn't it? And commodities that are consumed during the winter goes down. The opposite is the case when the demand for summer goods falls and winter goods goes up. This is during winter. So time period, price and demand are all interrelated. Let's now discuss what determines the demand. Now we learned there is individual demand and there is market demand. Let us begin our discussion for an individual demand. What are the determinants of an individual demand? They are the own price of the good, that means the price of the commodity, the price of the related goods, that means so there is something called substitute goods and complementary goods. We will discuss them a little later, one after the other. The income of the consumer, the tastes and preferences of the consumer, and the expected change in price of the commodity. So these are the 5 determinants of an individual demand. Let's now discuss them one by one. First is the own price of the commodity. That means the price of the commodity itself. Now here what happens is there will be a change in quantity demanded when there is a change in price. So as discussed here, when the price of the commodity goes up, the quantity demanded falls. And when the price of the commodity falls, the quantity demanded rises. Here we represent the own price of the commodity by Px, where x is the commodity and P represents the price. So price of commodity X. Let's now understand this relationship. When price, let us write again over here. When price increases from 1 to 2 to 3 and 4, for 1 rupee, the number of units of good that are demanded is 4. When the price increases to 2, it might decrease to 3 units. And when it is 3 rupees, it might decrease to 2. and when it is 4 rupees, it might further decrease to 1. So we see as the price increases, the quantity demanded falls, right? Now let's discuss the second determinant, which is price of related goods. This is represented by PR, where R represents the related good and P is the price of the related good. Now, other than the price of the commodity, all other determinants would represent a change in demand, right? So, what are related goods? Related goods are substitute goods or complementary goods. Substitute goods, we can take examples of tea and coffee. If you're not interested in tea, you can substitute it with coffee, right? Similarly, we have Coke and Pepsi. Coke can replace Pepsi or Pepsi can replace Coke. Then the other example can be rice and wheat. So there are many such examples. Then complementary goods are tea and sugar. Tea and sugar are related. Similarly, car and petrol. So one's price affects the other. Then pen and ink or refill. Such goods are called as complementary goods because they complete each other. Okay. Now let's see what is the relationship between price and quantity demanded for related goods. When it is a substitute good, say for example tea and coffee, if the price of tea increases, the quantity demanded for coffee would increase. When price of tea increases, what will we do? We'll go for its substitute because coffee now is cheaper than tea. So demand for coffee will increase. Similarly, on the other hand, if price of tea falls, now what happens? Comparatively, coffee becomes expensive. So the demand for coffee will fall. Now let's look at complementary goods. When price of tea increases or sugar increases, the consumption of other good will also fall, isn't it? When price of petrol increases, then the demand for car also falls. When price of petrol increases, the demand for car falls because now it's going to be more expensive, isn't it? So that is the relationship between price and quantity demanded for related goods. Let's now discuss the third determinant, income of the consumer, denoted by letter Y. Here we can give examples for toned milk and full cream milk and jawar and wheat. So when the income of the consumer increases, he goes for a better good. He will shift from toned milk to consumption of full cream milk. Now that his income increases, so he can go for a better good. Similarly, if the consumer is consuming jawar and his income increases, then he goes from jawar to wheat. So he will be able to buy a better good when his income rises. Now these goods are called as normal goods when a consumer is consuming them to fulfill his needs or to satisfy himself. But for some reason, if the income falls, he would go back to a good that is inferior to the other good. That means inferior to a normal good. So when the income increases, the quantity demanded for a normal good would also increase. Whereas if the income falls, on the other hand, if it falls, then the consumption of inferior good would increase because now he has less income, so he will buy more of an inferior good. Now this normal good and inferior goods are only relative. For a low income group, jawar could be a normal good, but for a higher income group, jawar will be an inferior good and wheat will be a normal good. So being normal good or inferior good is only relative because that depends on the income of the consumer. Now if we discuss the fourth determinant, tastes and preferences, represented by the letter T. These tastes and preferences are the choices made by the consumer. That could be related to fashion, customs, or habits. What happens is when one kind of a fashion is in tune during a certain period of time, the demand goes up. Okay, when it is out of fashion, the demand falls. Similarly, customs and habits. Habits we can discuss, like if somebody is habituated to alcohol, right? So what happens is even when the prices go up, the demand wouldn't change. Okay, so that would be the relationship between habits and uh, prices or demand for habitual goods like smoking. Now, the last of them is the expectation of change in price in the near future. Now, if in the near future you expect the prices to go up, for example, we must have seen as a common example, petrol. The prices of petrol would be going up from midnight. Then you'll find long queues outside the petrol bunks. So what happens is when there in the near future you expect the prices to go up, the demand would immediately increase. But if in the near future you expect the prices to fall, then consumers would wait for a time and then the demand would increase. So right now at the present moment the demand would fall. Okay. Now determinants of market demand. Determinants of market demand would mean that a sum of all the individual demands. Now here the first five determinants of market demand would be the same as the individual demand. The market demand would mostly depend on population, season and weather, and the distribution of income. So let's now discuss the sixth component of the determinant. The other five we discussed for individual demand. The same thing holds good over here also. Size and composition of population. We understand by size whether it is more populated or less populated. Composition would mean whether there are more number of males, more number of females, number of elderly, and number of children. So if there are more number of males, then products that are more used by the males would be more in demand. Similarly for females, if there are more number of females living in a particular area, then commodities that are used by females like cosmetics and other fashion related products would be more in demand. If there are more number of elderly people, then commodities that are used by elderly people like medicines and all those things because of the health oriented products would be more in demand. Similarly, if there are more number of children and there is a school around, so you'll find more number of stationery and school clothing and other toys, other things related to children. Now, the seventh determinant of market demand is season and weather, represented by the letter S. When it is summer, the demand for goods used in summer will be more, like ACs or coolers, okay, mangoes, they would be more in demand. In winter, goods that are used during winter, like warm clothing, okay, warm clothing, such products will be more in demand. Then coming to the last determinant is distribution of income, represented by the letter D. When there is an equal distribution of income, the demand would always be high. When there is an unequal distribution of income, that means either there are more number of rich people or less number of, higher income group or lower income group, then the demand would always be on the lower side. Because this tells us that if there are more number of higher income groups, then luxury items would be more in demand. And when there is more population of lower income groups, then necessities would be more in demand.